Welcome everybody to Cinema Royale. I am Travis Thompson of PunchDrunkCritics.com, and on this episode, we are getting in the driver's seat for F1 or F1 the movie, as
It's a
some.
lame title, F1 though. I
Yeah, you
just
need to
call
leave
it
that part
F1.
out. Just F1, right? I mean, the
Yeah.
movie stuff is stupid. Joining me on this show as usual is my homie Chris Bumbray. What's up, Chris? How's it going, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk about F1, man. I had an absolute blast with this movie,
Me
man.
too.
Like,
I saw it. So I had an interesting screening for it because I saw it a couple days before you did. So it was last Thursday
mm,
because there's an F1 Grand Prix in Montreal and it was last weekend. And what happened was they decided to launch it in Montreal at the Grand Prix. So they had like a press junket, whatever. They didn't like Brad Pitt wasn't here or anything like that, but they invited all the like racers and journalists, like European journalists, to see it on Thursday night before the race started, and I was invited. And it was late. It was really late. It was like at 9, but didn't start until like 10 because Joseph Kosinski and Jerry Bruckheimer showed up, and they introduced the movie, and I videoed them, and it ended up on CTV in Montreal because I sent them my video, and it was on, so it was on my hit, and yeah, I was like, because it's a long movie, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a hard time, getting
yeah,
into this. Man, no, I was like, I found it pretty pretty riveting stuff,
yeah,
especially seeing it on like a big IMAX screen. Like it was honestly, it's the only like blockbuster type movie this year besides Sinners where I was like, oh wow, that was awesome.
yeah.
Everything else has been meh. This one, I was like, holy shit, that was really good. And I
Yeah,
made,
I'm kind of the same way. So,
yeah.
the story F1 is very Top Gun-esque, which is
I mean, yeah, it's
not
it's it's simple.
surprising.
Simple. It's
Right.
simple.
Not surprising. It's directed by Joseph Kosinski, who did Top Gun Maverick. It's written by Aaron Kruger, who wrote Top Gun Maverick, and of course, it's produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. You kept wait. I kind of kept waiting for like Tom Cruise to come like make an appearance or something. Like
As a car.
it
As a
felt
car.
like it felt like he should have been in the movie in some cases. Like, where's he at? Like, he should be here somewhere.
It does feel like a Tom Cruise movie,
Yeah, it
and then you
totally
put
feels
it.
like a Tom Cruise movie.
It's Brad Pitt doing a Tom Cruise movie, like totally.
Totally. Absolutely, totally. So Brad Pitt plays Sonny Hayes, a sort of rising star of the 90s in racing. He has a horrible crash that derails his career. Now he's just kind of like a drifter. He's like a journeyman racer now, just going wherever and wherever doing things, kind of just looking for experiences, burning bridges and all sorts of things. He's so not entitled, but self-absorbed, a little
He's Maverick. He's
arrogant.
like
He's the
he's
Maverick. Yeah,
arrogant and like
totally,
risky and like a daredevil.
totally, totally. He gets hired by his buddy, played by Javier Bardem, to uh, bolster his failing racing company, Apex. But to do it, he's going to have to work alongside Joshua and Noah Pierce, played by Damson Idris, who's like this upstart, super talented rookie driver. And they're gonna have to figure out how to work together if this team is going to win, basically. What I loved about this movie, Chris, and I was talking to our friend Tim Gordon about it afterwards. He sat with me. We were watching it. And I told him the thing I love about, like, first of all, it's really hard to make a bad like racing movie. Like, there aren't very many of them that are just like awful. There are plenty of them that are like bad that deal simply with like the people who make cars and stuff like that, or makes racing cars. Like I don't think Ferrari's very good, honestly. I don't think like the Lamborghini movie with Frank Grillo's terrible. Like the
But
movies.
I mean, but then real racing movies. I mean, I'm thinking about like Driven wasn't very good. About kart racing. Like that one was like bad CGI, and it was so many. It was shot in Montreal.
I'm talking like really big movies, like
I mean, that was a
most of
huge movie when it came out. That was a
most of them are
bomb that
pretty
like killed a
most of
career.
them are pretty exciting. Like, even if they aren't like great, most of them are
Yeah,
exciting.
like Rush was really fun, and
I think Rush is excellent. But my thing
yeah,
about these movies is that generally like the racing is like this treat that you have to like wait for. Like, there's all
yeah,
this other stuff that's going
long
on.
racing.
Yeah, there's all this other stuff that's going on. And like when the racing comes, you're like, oh yeah, finally, let's go, let's go. F1's not like that. It's like
No.
racing forward. It's like 70, 75% racing. Like stuff is happening in this movie the whole time. And I absolutely loved it. Like the stuff that's going on with like relationships, like the business stuff with Tobias Menzies' character trying to like derail the team, basically. He's like playing the lady from like Major League almost. Like the other team from Major League kinda. Like let's get the worst person in here and like make things horrible, so we can sell. All that kind of stuff. His relationship with Carrie Condon, I loved her in his movie. I love Carrie Condon. Period. I
Me
have for a
too,
long
yeah.
time.
Oof.
For many reasons. All that stuff is great too, but I like that it is mainly racing forward, and
Well, and it's a lot of them driving. And I mean, the thing is, they were able to shoot it all at actual Grand Prix races because they had Lewis Hamilton on board and the F1 organization. So they had like amazing access to all the cars and to what the world is really like. So the verisimilitude of the movie, like the realism is really high because
and
you
it's
feel like you're,
crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy like the access you get, but also like I don't think I've ever seen the amount of technical stuff that they go that
Oh
they.
yeah. Oh, it's like going to the moon, and it's
That's crazy.
but then also, like, the thing is, you feel like you're in the car with them, and especially like if ever a movie has like cried out to be seen on IMAX, this is the movie,
Next
right?
week we're going to the Udvar Hazy, the biggest one at the Smithsonian. We're going to go see it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, because this movie, the sound is so crazy, the visuals are so nuts, and it's so ironic that it's produced by
By
Apple.
Apple. So
Yeah, that
it'll be on Apple TV Plus, and
yeah, I
it'll
mean,
still
it'll
be
look
good.
great.
It'll
It'll
still be
look great. I mean,
good.
I'm sure it'll look great in Apple TV Plus, and they're gonna do all kinds of cool things for it. Like I did you see, like if you see the iPhone commercial they had for it, where like the haptics are built in, like
Yep.
they'll probably do crazy stuff like that too. Like if you watch it on an iPad or a phone, it's gonna look crazy. But then, but just if ever a movie cried out to be seen on
Got
like
to
the
see it on the big screen.
biggest screen you
Got to
can, this
see
is
it on
one.
IMAX. Got to see what the best sound system you can
Oh
find.
yeah. And I saw it at one of
Awesome.
the old school IMAXs in Montreal, so it was nuts, and it was because it comes from here,
Yeah.
and it was crazy. I mean, I was so edge of your seat stuff, and I get bored easily nowadays at movies, and I was not bored for a second during this
No,
movie.
me neither. I went into it worried
Yeah,
like you was, like, oh, this is a nearly 3 hour movie. I was like, they could probably trim 20, 30 minutes off this already. I can already tell. I
yeah,
actually
I
didn't
didn't feel
enjoy
like
it.
that at
I
all.
didn't
Yeah,
enjoy
it
it
was.
too.
It
Not
could have
really.
gone on, and it was just like I was glued to my seat. The storyline is simple but very effective, and I was drawn in by the performances. I liked everyone in the movie, which is
Yeah.
important. Pitt, I thought, was used perfectly. It needed a movie star in that role, and it got a movie
It's a
star.
total movie star role. I
Yeah.
thought he looked and sounded more like Robert Redford in this movie than he ever has ever.
Yeah, oh, I mean, I think that's what they were going for, but or like Paul Newman, like one of those kind of classic movie star
Yeah.
guys,
There-
and it
There's
was,
one scene where I think he's sitting across from Joshua Damson Idris, and I think and they're talking, and he just looks. I was like, I whispered to my girlfriend and Tim. I was like, dude, he looks like a mirror image of Robert Redford, like a little bit older Redford, like Robert Redford, like in his 60s. He looks exactly like him.
yeah, and it's kind of, and I think that's exactly what they were going for. Like they needed an old school movie star for that role. And if you can't get Tom Cruise, I think that he was a good choice.
I bet you Tom Cruise watches this joint and he's like, why didn't I do this fucking movie?
Yeah, because it feels like a Tom Cruise movie. Like it really does. Like it does. It seems like the kind of movie he would have made, and it would, but he would have been in the car 100% of the
Him
time.
and Christopher
And like
McQuarrie would have gone nuts with this movie if they had it.
Like maybe that was why he's not in it. Maybe it would have been too dangerous to shoot it with Tom Cruise because he would have been, he would have been in the car 100% of the time doing all the driving. No stunt drivers. No, 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 no. In
Yeah.
actual like F1 races, like they did a lot of it where the guys were doing the driving themselves and everything, but like it's still a movie. I think Cruise would have been like, no, we're gonna live F1, and it would have taken 2 more years to put out and would have cost twice as much, and it's
Twice as
already
much.
expensive.
And it was already an expensive movie.
Yeah, yeah. And it would have been like, no, do it again, and it would be like, wrecking cars constantly. And it's like, yeah, but Pitt is awesome in it. He really is. And
Really,
and
really
I
awesome.
loved Javier Bardem was really fun.
I loved how Javier Bardem liked this. I was trying to think of the last time I really liked him in something.
Yeah, like in an entertaining movie, and it was like not pretentious. Carrie Condon is great. The soundtrack, the score by Hans Zimmer is really good. It is like Top Gun Maverick. It's like a movie left over, not even left over, but like the kind of movie that we would have seen in the 80s and the 90s in the best way. Where it was just very meat and potatoes, very straightforward, but very entertaining. And it's very well cast. Damson Idris, I'm sure, is going to get a big boost from this movie
Oh, for sure.
because he's very much like, in the movie star mode in it. And stuff happens with his character too. Like I liked that he has some wrinkles too. He's arrogant. He's not just some kind of saintly type figure. Like he's got his own problems, his own shit that he's dealing with.
I
Um,
like that for large portions of this movie, it's not about Brad Pitt like doing the right thing and trying to win. He's kind of like
he's kind of an asshole.
he's an
Yeah.
asshole, and he's coming up with all these like crazy shenanigans to like
Yeah, he's essentially cheating. Yeah, exactly.
right.
But that was great too, because you started to learn like the rules of it and stuff.
Which
But
are
now it's
they're
funny.
bizarre. Some of the rules of Formula One are bizarre, and you're like, what? Like some of this,
Yeah.
like, and how is he exploiting this? How is this?
Like
How
you
is
have
this
to
fair?
slow down because one of the guys like because of the tires or some shit like that. And it
Yeah,
was but it is funny what you said though, because now Cruz is going around saying that they're making Days of Thunder 2. 100% he saw this movie and was like, fuck, I gotta outdo this.
yeah.
And it's gonna
I
be like him and Macquarie are gonna do something insane with Days of Thunder 2.
yeah.
Like they're gonna like NASCAR, and they're gonna do something completely like Cruz is actually gonna win,
There's
like
no
become the
way.
NASCAR champ or something like that the
There's
next
no
season.
way he sees this and sees all this technology that's behind racing now and all and that can be used in movies. There's no way Tom Cruise sees this and is like, "Oh, that's good. All right, let's move on to the next thing."
No, this is for sure. He's got like his back against the wall now, and he's like, I have to one up this movie. I have
Yeah,
to do something better. And I don't know how he's gonna do it, but that's what makes Cruise though,
yeah,
right? Where it's like, he watches a James Bond movie and he's like, what if I really risked my life?
right.
You know, what if I did this for real? Like, and I feel like he's gonna be like you're gonna see like NASCAR next season. Cruz is gonna be winning races.
Tom Cruise really got into character by entering the race himself.
Became a NASCAR champ. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, this movie was so much fun, man.
They get Nicole Kidman back just to like because the press would be so insane.
Um, oh my God, that'd be crazy.
That would be
I
awesome.
can't wait to see this movie again. They're having another screening of it next week, like on Tuesday, and I'm like, should I go again? But I wrote
I
so.
am gonna go see it again. I'm kind of hoping that they bring it to there's an IMAX at the Science Center in Montreal, and if they bring it there, I'm for sure going to see
I
it
saw
there because
some of our critic friends were at. I don't know if they were at the Toronto thing you were at, or if they were at another premiere. But like Sean Edwards was at some huge premiere for it. He was like in the cars and shit like that.
so Sean Edwards was at F1 in Montreal because he
Okay,
went he said because he's dating Natasha who lives in Montreal
that's
and
right. That's right.
he was here for F1. I didn't see him at the screenings. I know we saw it first. I think he went maybe last night because it's or not last night on Monday because it did screen again on Monday. But I think he was at they did like a press thing for it and I think he was there. So
Invite
yeah,
you to
so
that
that
one?
sorry?
Invite you to that one?
No, I mean I've relationship with Warner Brothers is not the best, I guess, but I didn't get that invite. Although maybe it was Apple. But anyway, at the but they did get invited to the show. I got invited to the screening, so it was great. So and
Yeah.
I got in early, so that was fun.
Well,
Um
I didn't get either, so don't feel
yeah,
bad.
he was I think he was in town, so that was how he kind of got into it. But I know he was at the races. I know he actually went to F1, so who knows what they were doing there.
Movies like this, like F1, I mean, it makes you want to go and like watch some Formula
Well,
One.
that's what
It's not
Bruckheimer.
as exciting. Like racing is never as exciting like watching it as it is like in the movies.
That's what he said before the movie, though, Jerry Bruckheimer. He said that they showed it to a bunch of audiences at sneak screenings, and it was like, who here has seen an F1 race before? One person raised their hand, and then he showed it them the movie, and he says, after watching this, who here would be interested in learning more about F1? And apparently everybody raised their hands.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it
it's
is I could see why they financed it,
this
and
this
spent
movie's
on money.
gonna get Formula One tons of new fans. I mean, it definitely will.
And
And
I think it'll do well. I think it'll
when they
open.
watch it, those fans might be like, "This isn't nearly as exciting," but it's at
I
least
have a feeling too that it's going to be, if they keep it in theaters, I think it's going to be a sleeper hit. Like I don't know that it's going to open huge, but I think word of mouth is going to be very good on it. So it's one of those things, like if they keep it open for a while, I think people are going to go see it, like hopefully, because it's God, because it's demands to be seen that way on the big screen.
I think so too. I don't think it's gonna be uh I don't think it's gonna start off like overwhelmingly huge, but I think like you said, it might have long legs.
Yeah, it'll be one of those things where like, oh, it like doesn't lose much of its audience in like week 3 and 4 if they keep it open. That my worry is that Apple is just going to throw it up on Apple TV in like a couple weeks,
Yeah, they
to
don't.
benefit from all the hype that goes into it, which they could do, and that would be terrible because they would really lose the movie. 'Cause the way it really needs to be seen on the big screen. It's the only movie this year, honestly, besides Sinners, that was like, this is blockbuster filmmaking the way it used to be and the way that it should be. Like there's a handful of directors that are still doing movies that way. There's Coogler, there's Nolan, there's Kosinski, there's Macquarie, but not many others. Where you're like, this movie has to be seen on the big screen because it'll lose something at home,
Yeah.
right? And this is one of those few movies that I can think of.
I mean, yeah, there's another one this week that's gonna be like that. Brideheart demands to be seen on the biggest
I
screen.
saw the trailer for that. I couldn't even believe that that's getting a theatrical release because that feels like a VOD
Like,
movie.
it looks like a streaming movie.
And especially with like her like reputation nowadays with like all the crazy shenanigans she's getting up to. Like I don't know why that movie's coming out. And it's tracking so badly too. Like it's gonna lose so much money.
Really, it
I
probably
don't
didn't
know
cost.
who
It probably
had
didn't cost
something.
very much. So it might not lose money. It probably didn't cost very much either. So
But I mean, it costs money to put things out on like 3,000 or 2,000 screens or whatever. Like I don't get it why that movie's coming out. It doesn't seem like it's commercial. I mean, do people does she still have fans? Like it
I
reunites
assume
what they were
so.
doing, like the Pitch Perfect reunion, but like Anna Camp wasn't really the star. If it was Anna Kendrick and her, maybe then it would be a bit more of a more news.
I'm happy to pay for Anna Camp, but
Yeah, I love Anna Camp too, but it's just
I'm
like I don't this
I'm
movie.
not as such a big fan of Rebel Wilson though. So I mean,
No, I can't.
maybe if you reverse the roles, I'd be more interested in going. I would have gone to that screening, but no.
But I guess the next for like spectacle,
Superman.
the only other movie that I could think of that could maybe go toe to toe with it this summer is probably going to be Superman. But we'll see. Marvel, I have no faith in Fantastic Four anymore because I just feel like Marvel, they don't know how to make this grand canvas stuff anymore. Like if you went to see, like I saw Thunderbolts on IMAX like pretty much right after seeing Sinners on IMAX, and
Yeah.
it was such a disappointment compared to seeing it, like how scaled down it was and how like clearly they had no idea how to take like advantage of the
I
format.
mean, we might have to wait until the Russos and the Avengers movies for that.
Yeah, I mean,
They
we'll
know
see.
how to do that kind of spectacle. So
Sure.
yeah, we might have to wait until that. Honestly, the next two superhero movies are both characters that are iconic and that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking
Everybody
Superman
knows
could be the better
Superman is the
one.
most popular superhero in the world of all time, and you can't keep his comic on the shelves because nobody wants to read it, and that's why it keeps rebooting all the time. And Fantastic Four is exactly the same way. For Marvel, they can't keep it on the shelves. Nobody wants to read it. They have to keep rebooting it. They keep trying over and over and over again. It's like two nostalgic character types that nobody gives a shit about in modern times.
I honestly, I don't see Fantastic Four working that well. I was reading some tracking where they were like, "Oh, it's going to open to like 125 million." It's like I don't think so. I don't. I don't think.
Is that worldwide?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, exactly. Like domestic, and it's like I don't believe that for a second. I
I don't
think
think
Marvel is
Superman's
having a bad run,
I
and
don't
I,
think
I don't think
Superman's
Fantastic.
gonna do well either. Like Warner
I
Brothers
think Superman's going to do better than Fantastic Four.
Warner Brothers keeps chasing this $1 billion that they seem to think is like the measuring stick for every superhero movie.
It will never make $1 billion.
Not
It'll
gonna make
make
a
maybe
billion.
500, maybe,
Not
maybe.
gonna make a billion. I top it out at 700 million. And
Oh, if
I don't even think
even.
I don't even think it's gonna make that. But if it
But
did,
I mean,
I would consider that a success. they wouldn't. They wouldn't
No.
consider that a success. They would consider that a failure.
Well, and it's the same thing. Like if you look at Thunderbolts and if you look at Brave New World, so Brave New World made 400 million worldwide, which
Yeah.
is like half of what Marvel movies used to routinely make. And Thunderbolts hasn't
But
even.
that's on the high end for a Captain America movie though, except for the
Yeah,
third one, which is really an Avengers movie. So
yeah.
I mean, that's good for Captain America. They should be happy with $400 million
They just
for
shouldn't have
Captain
put
America.
300 million into it. They should have made it cheaper.
Yes. And there's no reason why they couldn't have. They could
And
have.
then well, they shot the movie 3 times. That's probably the reason. If they'd shot it once, if they just released the first version, it probably would have done
Absolutely right.
fine.
Absolutely
But
right.
Thunderbolts hasn't even made 400 million, and that's kind of a flop, right? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good for them, especially since it started off okay.
yeah.
It started
And they
off
lost
all
a
right.
lot of the audience. They
And
lost a
then
lot of their
quickly,
audience.
quickly died. Quickly died.
Yeah.
Even though they tried by renaming it New Avengers, nobody cared. Nobody said it's too
I
late now.
mean, to me, it was very telling when IMAX pulled it in week 3 and put Sinners back out because
Yeah,
that was bringing in more of an audience.
yeah. Sinners probably kneecapped it a little bit because Sinners did so
100%.
well for so long.
Nobody thought that was going to be the size of a hit that it was.
Yeah.
Like it
And
caught the
Sinners
zeitgeist.
came out. Sinners came out at the perfect time too. If it had come out later in the summer, I don't think it would have done as well.
Yeah.
But it came
It
out.
was that around Easter, audiences, families, some families went to see it too. It was just it really
A lot
hit.
of families went to see it. A lot of black families went to see it.
Yeah. I know, yeah, I was thinking about that. But when I was a kid, that's the kind of movie my family probably would have gone to see together too, and it was like so it hit the zeitgeist at exactly the right time.
It's still it's still doing really well at the box
Yeah.
office now, and it's on digital. It's on digital here, and it's still doing well. So,
Yeah.
you know, but
Do hope they never do a sequel though, because I'm happy. I like a one and done.
I do too. I feel like he will be convinced.
Oh, of course he will, because there was so much. They'll throw like, especially because he owns the movie, so like they're gonna be like, you could make X amount of money, and I could just see him like, like it's kind of. But I feel like I also feel like he'll get a blank check to do whatever he wants now. And although it seems like he wants to do Black Panther 3 with Denzel.
That'll be first. That'll be
I wonder
first.
who Denzel is gonna play though. If it's gonna be Magneto, like people are saying, that'd be crazy.
No, we won't be Magneto. It'll be somebody else. But
I don't know who can be. Like I'm kind of wondering, like who are they gonna? Who's that? Because it's gonna have to be somebody good if it's Denzel.
I would want him to play somebody that is specific to Black Panther.
Well, maybe he'll play like Black Panther, like an alternate version of Black Panther.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like an older version of Black Panther. Like it could be.
Yeah, man, I mean that's entirely possible. You know,
Yeah,
entirely possible. So I don't.
older T'Challa. That might be kind of awesome, actually.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that would be awesome. It would
Yeah,
also be awesome if we get F1 2 with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, two veterans.
man. Oh, could you imagine that movie cost $600 million? With them. Well, did you see what Pitt said? Where they like, would you do another movie with Cruise? And he's like, yes, as long as I'm not hanging off the side of
Yeah.
a.
Yeah, he said, I'm not going to do that shit.
Exactly.
Oh man, I love those two
Yeah,
guys.
Cruz though is like in heavy prep now on Days of Thunder 2, and he's like, I'm gonna
Gotta
fucking
be. He cannot let this stand. There's
yeah, this is gonna be like he wants to see a racing movie.
F1
Make a
has
racing movie.
thrown F1 is thrown, especially since he's worked with Kosinski before.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah, they worked
he
together on
was on the
Oblivion.
phone to Quarry as soon as he saw it, and he was like, "Yo, you."
Yeah, he worked with him on Oblivion, which I liked, and not a lot. It didn't do well as it should at the box office. I liked Oblivion a lot.
But they
Um,
killed with Maverick, so.
yep, exactly, exactly. Worked with him on Oblivion and on Top Gun Maverick. So,
And
so
they'll do Top Gun 3 together, I'm sure.
yeah, he'll definitely want to bring Kosinski back for that. Oh
Yeah.
man, F1, so much fun. Everybody, if you haven't seen it yet, and chances are you haven't, make sure you go and see F1 on the
Yeah,
biggest and best
100%.
screen you can find in your area, preferably on IMAX. It is an awesome.
Yeah, if you can see it in IMAX, like even if IMAX is sold out, like wait and go back and see it on IMAX.
Yeah,
Like it's
don't go
just
see that the rinky-dink theater.
oh
Don't
no,
go.
we have a bunch of shitty like off-brand like IMAX wannabes in Montreal, like AVX and stuff like that. Or
We have
or
some of
God,
those too.
don't go see it in that one 40X. Oh,
Oh man. All right, everybody. That is F1. It comes out in theaters on June 27th. Go and check it out. This has been Cinema Royale. I'm Travis Hobson. That is Christopher Bumbray at JoeBlow.com. You can find him there. You can find me every day at PunchDrunkCritics.com. All right, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in to Cinema Royale. Go see F1. All right. See you next time. Bye. Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.